we are, born to be kings.
Hello world, it is Monday, October 24th, 2011. Hope everybody is having a great start to their week so far. I'm sorry I didn't post any videos last week. Last week was just absolutely insane with finals, midterms, the works. Not finals, but midterms, exams, papers, hell on earth essentially, but week is all done, so now I can make videos again. Woo! So, today I'm going to do my review of the second season of Battlestar Galactica. Now, before I get started, I wanted to let you guys know something really quick. I'm going to be changing how I'm going to do my videos because, as you know, I try to do an optional third video during the week, which is usually like a personal blog, or I try to talk about current events. I really miss doing those videos because that's how I started out on YouTube, by doing the vlogs, by doing the you know, the current events and talking about those kind of news stories and stuff like that and offering my opinions on them. I really want to do those again. I really miss I haven't had the chance to do them. So I'm going to change how my video format is. So let's say today I'm doing my review of Battlestar Galactica. Then my next video, no matter what time it is or what week it is, will be my list. And then the video after that, whenever that is, will be my personal blog or current events news story. And then the video after that will be the review. So it'll just be kind of a rotating schedule of videos and what I'm going to talk about and what I'm going to do with those specific videos. So I'm just letting you guys know really quick before I get started. So just letting you know the quick format change really quick. So, alright, let's get started with the Season 2 review, the review for the second season of Battlestar Galactica. Now, before I get into my Season 2 review, I'm going to do a recap of the first season and the end of the first season. So, if you haven't seen the first season yet, A, I recommend that you do, and B, there's going to be slight spoiler alerts. So what I'm going to do, I did this for one of my other previous videos, I'm going to say spoiler alert. So when spoiler alert starts, if you want to, because I know how much spoiling things can get obnoxious, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say spoiler alert. So if you want to go and... So when spoiler starts, if you want to, you can mute the screen. And then what I'm going to do is, once the spoilers are done, I'm going to give 2 thumbs up. Like Ebert, you know, like Roger Ebert, I'm going to give 2 thumbs up. So that means, you know, that the spoilers will be done, and then the review for the season will start. Then the normal review will start at its current pace. So, alright, let's get started. So, the reimagined Battlestar Galactica, if you guys don't know, the reimagined Battlestar Galactica that Sci-Fi aired a few years ago was based off a show in the late 70s. So Battlestar Galactica is set in a universe where humanity lives in 12 separate planets known as the colonies, the 12 colonies of Kobol. To make life easier on the colonies, the human race created the Cylons, which were machines to serve humans. But of course, like typical robot fanfare, the Cylons rebelled, sparking a war that ended in an armistice. However, 40 years later, the Cylons break their armistice and essentially launch an all-out nuclear assault on the 12 colonies, wiping out over 95% of the human race. The remainder of the human race, which is approximately 50,000 people, rally around the Battlestar Galactica, led by Commander William Adama. Adama forms a fragile alliance with the civilian leader of the colonies, President Laura Roslin. Together, they command a refugee fleet to make their way to Earth, the lost 13th colony of Kobol. So, at the end of Season 1, the fleet accidentally discovers Kobol, which is a planet of great religious significance. The entire human race traces their origins to Kobol. In the Battlestar Galactica mythos, the 13 tribes of humanity fled Kobol, and the 13th tribe went to Earth, while the other 12 tribes went to the 12 colonies. And so this is considered sort of the birthplace of humanity. Laura Roslin, due to her who is suffering from breast cancer at this point, is taking these things called Kamala extract. Kamala extract is giving her these visions of these certain visions, which are in line with these things called the Scrolls of Pythia. Oh, by the way, this is spoiler time. I'm so sorry. But they're called the Scrolls of Pythia. The Scrolls of Pythia dictate that a dying leader will lead the people to their salvation to Earth. So she has sort of envisioned herself as a prophet, believing that through Kobol, the fleet will find its way to Earth. This causes a rift between Adama and Roslin. So Because Adama, he's not a very religious man at all. He's not that he's an atheist. I think he is a person who's just very skeptical of religion. So this creates a rift between the skeptic Adama and the believer Roslin. So culminating in Roslin sabotaging a key military mission to attain the sacred arrow of Apollo. What happens is that a Cylon base star makes its way to Kobol, and Thrace was Starbuck. She was going to use a Cylon Raider to launch a nuke into the base star. So what happens is Roslin later tells Kara, who is also very deeply religious, that this is Kobol and they need the arrow of Apollo. So she sabotages the mission and has Kara go back to Kobol to retrieve the arrow. So Adama, since she interfered with the military operation, Adama asks for her resignation. She doesn't want to resign, so Adama essentially leads a coup and essentially removes Roslin from power. However, before Adama can do more, Boomer, who did blow up the base star, gets kind of activated as a Cylon and shoots Adama, and he becomes critically wounded, and he's actually incapacitated for the first few episodes. So, spoilers are done. So, in the second season, what we see in terms of the fleet is an attempt to kind of stay together and stay unified. The fleet kind of realizes that the greatest dangers do not come from the Cylons. The Cylons actually aren't that much of a threat in the second season. We see whether the fleet itself, can survive, because all these internal divisions, all these internal conflicts appear in the second season, and they are the greatest threat is from within, essentially. That's what the second season is about. So here's what's really good about the second season of Battlestar Galactica. Like I said, there's a whole concept of internal strife. Now, the first season's main focus was survival and the human race's attempt to stay one step ahead of the Cylons. Here, humanity is cracking from the pressure and the paranoia, and the internal conflicts and the struggles are starting to emerge from the fleet. There are terrorist attacks, peace movements, power struggles, assassination attempts, you name it. I mean, the shift of focus from being afraid of the Cylons to being afraid of people within your own fleet, and being afraid of terrorist groups, of everything like that, is done so naturally and realistically. You think that kind of transition would feel forced, but it really doesn't, because it makes logical sense in the context where people are starting to crack from the pressure. And, it really feels really natural and really realistic. So, another thing that's really great about the second season is the sense of danger. I mean, the first season, in my opinion, yeah, like I said, they talked about the whole concept of survival and but the first season didn't really relate well just how much danger the fleet was actually in. However, the second season, which, like I said, is focusing more on internal conflicts, makes the danger really that much more intense and realistic. I mean, because like I said before, it heightens the sense of danger, because really, the biggest threat in any form of government or any form of situation is not from the outside. It's always from within. Like things will always, things are starting to implode in the second season, and it's highlighting that sense of danger. So, another really awesome, kudos to Edward James Olmos, who did a fantastic job as Commander Adama. But here he gives the stalwart guardian Adama a much more human face, capable of great happiness, sadness, and even anger. I mean, because if you remember the first season, Adama was always, the stalwart guardian of the fleet. He was always, a man who kept his composure, who kept his cool. We finally see that start to break down in season 2, giving us a much more human Adama, which is absolutely fantastic. Also, kudos goes to Katee Sackhoff, who plays Starbuck. She makes Starbuck, the first season we kind of see Starbuck as just this cocky, arrogant pilot, who's, really good, but really, like I said, really cocky, really angry, really rebellious. But we see her, similar to what happened with Edward James Olmos in his performance of Adama, we see her give Starbuck a more human face, capable of much greater emotions other than cockiness, arrogantness, and, a sense of rebelliousness. There's a root to all that. We see a much more deeply religious Starbuck. We see a much more compelling Starbuck, if you may. And she does a really fantastic job. Again, the special effects are fantastic. they're absolutely great. The battle sequences are truly spectacular for a science fiction television show. The special effects are pretty damn good. The length is really good because the second season is twice as long as the first, so it allows the audiences more time to connect with the characters. But what's really great about the second season, even though it's twice as long as the first, it doesn't really seem to drag as much, and that's what's absolutely fantastic about it. Of course, one of my favorite things about from the previous season, from this season, was Gaius, Baltar, and Six. The relationship between Gaius, Baltar, and number 6, and it's sort of highlighted and expanded more during the season. 6, ironically, is given a more human portrayal and affects how her and Gaius' discussions play out. And it's also revealed what 6 actually is and how that plays out as well. And it's really fascinating, but it doesn't really lose any of that interest, if you may. So here's the only thing that I really didn't like about the second season of Battlestar Galactica was the whole Admiral Kane storyline. In the middle of the season, we're introduced to Admiral Helena Kane, who's the commander of the Battlestar Pegasus and essentially Adama's superior officer. She takes the position of, once she returns, Adama hands over command of the fleet military to her, because naturally she is the, superior officer. So while the thing is, there is immediate tension between Adama and Kane to the point where things almost explode in a civil war between the two. I mean, however, what's really upsetting, because this storyline is really great, the Admiral Kane storyline is fantastic. And what's really sad is that, the whole Kane storyline is only a few episodes, like probably 2, 3, maybe 4 episodes. I would definitely like to see this played out more, because the tension between Admiral Kane and Adama was so compelling and so fantastic, and it made watching it made you want to sit there and keep watching just to see what happens. And I felt like they could have really expanded it a lot more. But that's my only complaint. It's a tiny, tiny detail. So overall, I would say that the second season greatly improves upon the first. So, offering edge if you see tension, great characters, stunning special effects. Essentially, this second season is a whole lot better. So, alright guys, well that's pretty much it for today. So, just letting you know, my next video is going to be a list. I have a good idea of what my list is going to be. It's going to be, for once, I have a good idea of what my list is going to be. I had a week to think about it because I never got to it, last week. It's going to be my list of my 5 favorite bassists, because as a bass player, someone who's been playing bass for a while, these are kind of the 5 bass players that have sort of influenced me in my playing. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for today, and I will see you guys hopefully on Wednesday or next week, sometime later on during the week. We'll see. So, alright, I will talk to you guys later. Peace.